everybody, my name is Katie and welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a follow-up on my wisdom teeth removal video. I posted this video about a year ago, but I did get my wisdom teeth removed over a year ago. So I got them removed December 18th, 2019, I think. The date's in the video, but I believe that's the date. And I posted this video in February 2020. And so I got a lot of questions in the comments, which I honestly wasn't really expecting. So it was kind of nice to be able to go through and answer people and help them out. But to make that process a little easier and also for people to find answers to questions easier, maybe if they have the same question as somebody else in the comments instead of scrolling through them, I figured I would all compile them all. I said all too many times. I would compile them all into this one video where I would neatly organize it so you can easily find what you need. So I have some notes here on my iPad, and if I look down occasionally, that is why. But I first want to start off with some advice that people have had for people who will get their wisdom teeth out in the future, because it is something that is a little scary and daunting at first, I'll admit that. And people that have gone through it in the comments, like, I didn't ask for people to send advice, but I thought it was really sweet that some people did send words of encouragement and stuff to others in the comments. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put screenshots of them all here, and feel free to go ahead and pause and read them. So before I get into starting off this video, I just want to list off the names of the categories. You can also find this information in the description box below. I will label out all of the categories and all of the time frames that those categories occur at. And so I have pain, anesthesia slash sedation, eating, aftercare and recovery, and other personal or general questions. And at the very end of this video, I'll also provide a little rundown, a short little summary of what happened each day. But if you do want a more in-depth and like you want to see me actually live through this, I would recommend checking out my wisdom teeth removal video. I will link it in the corner up above and also in the description box below. So make sure to check that one out after you watch this one if you haven't already. And one more quick thing before I get started with the first category, I do want to just put that reminder out there that everybody is different. I've had people in the comments section say that their experiences were so easy, barely any pain at all, and I've had people in the comments section saying this was like the most miserable, worst experience of my life. I feel like I fall somewhere in between those personally. It wasn't a great experience, but I mean, I got through it. But yeah, just keep in mind that everybody's like pain tolerance is different and experiences are different. So try not to compare yourself too much, but use this as sort of a guide. But yeah, so let's start off with the first category, which is pain. And the first question that I have is, did you have pain while swallowing? The answer to that for me is yes, I had pain for about 2 to 3 days, I believe, while swallowing. Yeah, which was kind of unfortunate, but What pain medication did you take? Would you need an opioid painkiller, or will regular pain meds deal with the post-removal pain? So for me, on the first day, or the first few days actually, I took Norco, and that made me really, really nauseous personally because I did not have much food in my system, and it was a very strong painkiller, and that does not combine very well, so I was very nauseous. And since I couldn't get that much food in my system, I decided to stop using them after a few days, and I just stuck to one Tylenol before bed so that I wouldn't wake up 20,000 times in the night. But other than that, I was generally able to manage my pain without pain meds after those first few days, and just with that one Tylenol before bed. Did you feel pain when opening your mouth? And if so, how long did it last? Yes, I did. It might have lasted about a week. In order to kind of get rid of that and slowly get my mouth into like regular motion again, I did exercises to get those muscles working again so that my jaw wouldn't lock. So basically, I was just kind of sitting there and I was like, right? Like slowly and like not very much, because at that point I'm so swollen, right? And I can't open my mouth that much. But just doing this little like small little motion and trying to go a little bit farther, but not pushing it too hard. That really helped me to be able to get my mouth moving and to be able to talk and get food in my mouth. The next category that I have is anesthesia and sedation. The first question I have is, how were you sedated and was it painful? So I had IV sedation and it was general anesthesia, so I was unconscious the whole time, and I literally just like felt a prick in my arm from the IV, and then that was it. Like, they gave me a stress ball beforehand. I remember them taking the stress ball out of my hand, and then after that I literally don't remember a thing, and then I just remember waking up. So I remember 0 things from the procedure at all, and that was good. I appreciate that that was an option for me. But I know some people would rather not, and that's okay too. Does your vision feel weird when you wake up from anesthesia? And for me, my vision did not feel weird at all. I wasn't experiencing anything out of the ordinary. I just remember feeling really cold and shivering, and I needed like a blanket because I was like really cold. But other than that, no, nothing was weird when I woke up. I just woke up and I remember thinking like, oh, it's done. Okay. Like, that was pretty much it. And my next category is now eating. So first question I have, should I eat the day I get my teeth removed? Answer to that, I believe yes. It is 100% important to eat. Your body needs fuel. Your body just went through major surgery. It needs to recover. With that being said, you obviously can't eat like a steak. I will, like I showed you in my video of my journey, what I ate on the first day, so maybe you can get an idea based off of that, but it was very much just liquids. But it's important to keep those nutrients getting inside of you. And I want to make sure to make this point, please don't suck, like use a straw. Don't perform that sucking motion, because that can dislodge the blood clots that form, which can lead to dry socket, and that is no bueno. We don't want that. So yeah, just avoid using straws for until you're completely healed, and you will be good, or you should be good. Next question is, can I have warm food? And my answer to that is yes. I don't see any problem with having warm food. Just make sure that it's on the softer side when you're recovering. I don't think heat is so much an issue as components or texture. Things with seeds and stuff probably isn't the best idea, because like those little seeds can get stuck in your sockets and that won't be good. But heat, I don't see anything wrong with warmer foods or colder foods at all. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, at the end of the video I will put a list of items that I ate day by day, as well as like general experiences that I felt. But if you do want a more, like, if you want to see portion sizes or other information that I can't like verbally speak, I'd recommend checking out that video. But that basically concludes the eating section. And now I'm going to be moving on to aftercare and recovery, which is probably one of the biggest sections of questions that I've gotten in that comment section. The first one is, how long does recovery take? And this one is such a broad range. It really just depends on the person. But I would say anywhere from about 1 to 4 weeks, generally from 2 to 3. 1 week is like on the very quick side, 4 weeks is on the slow side. I would say it probably took me 3, but I don't really remember because this procedure was quite a long time ago. But if I had to guess, I would say about 3. And next question, which days are the worst? In my opinion, I would say that days 3 to 5 are the worst. Part of that was probably because of the nausea that I had, but I was also really swollen then. You do like get more swollen and then less swollen, like that's how recovery happens. So around days 3 to 5 is when the peak of my swelling was, and I felt the most pain. How long until I can exercise again? I was able to resume my daily exercise of doing low impact cardio after 5 days of rest. So on the 6th day after the procedure, I was able to start working out again, and I didn't have a problem with that. I've also gotten a question of what the socket, like tube of gel that I used is. It's basically just a gel where you put on the site that helps prevent dry socket. It does taste really bad, but it helps prevent dry socket, so that's good. Next question is, does the salt water rinse sting? The quick answer to that is no, it doesn't sting, not at all. You just kind of squirt it in there and that's the end of that. It just kind of feels like, you know, water. Nothing really different feeling about it. When is the peak of swelling? Does your face shape return back to normal? So I kind of already touched on this, but peak of swelling around day 3, maybe a little bit after, for me. And it will most likely be around anywhere from that middle range of like 3 to 5. It should fall within that range. And yes, swelling does go away and your face shape will return back to normal, so don't worry about that. You won't be swollen like a chipmunk forever. How long should I use gauze and how long did bleeding last? So I would use it for the first day until bleeding stops, and bleeding should stop within the first day. I wouldn't use it any longer than that because it's not really necessary after that point when bleeding stops. The next question is sort of like a scenario somebody had, and it reads, it's now day 2 and the bleeding won't stop. Did you have any problems with bleeding? So for me personally, I don't recall having any issues. My best guess, if I had to guess, is that the blood clots forming are continuing to get dislodged, maybe from like playing on the site, like poking around it, like with the tongue or food or something. So I would recommend in that situation biting down on gauze for a while until the bleeding stops. And then once the bleeding stops, I would be very careful around the site. But if you do have like extreme bleeding, I would recommend contacting your doctor or surgeon, because I'm not a doctor or surgeon. So I'm just a person that has gone through this and wants to help share my experience with you guys. But if there are serious like bleeding, I would recommend contacting them. And if you want a more in-depth aftercare, I know I sound like a broken record, but I have a feeling some people are only going to watch certain sections of this video, so I apologize. But if you do want a day-by-day description of what I did in my aftercare, I would check out my video that I did in the description box. And the final category that I have for you are other personal or general questions, just kind of things that didn't really fit in the other categories. I'm going to all throw out right here. First question is, where did you get your ice pack? And it was actually supplied to me by my doctor, but I'm sure you can find similar things on Amazon or online if you just look up like, I don't know, wisdom teeth ice pack or heating pack. The cool thing about mine was that it had like these little balls in it that you can either freeze or put in the microwave to heat up, so you can have an ice pack and a heating pack all in one. So that was a really nice thing about mine. Next question, what sleep app do you use? I got a lot of questions about this, and I wasn't thinking that I would, because otherwise I would have included it in the video. But the sleep app that I use is called Pillow. I use the free version of it, and it works really nice. It's paired with my watch, so basically I just go to bed and it automatically tracks everything that happens, which I find really nice because I track that information in my bullet journal. Next question, were your wisdom teeth impacted? Short answer to that one, nope. My wisdom teeth were not impacted. There wasn't really much of a problem with them, but I did get them removed because in the case where they could potentially cause a problem if they poked through, they could get infected, and I was going to go away at college, and that would have been like a bad thing if that happened while I was away at college. So we just decided we'll get it done soon. So that's why I got it done during winter break of my freshman year. Did you have stitches? Yes, dissolvable stitches. Like the name says, they dissolve. So I don't have them anymore, but I did have stitches back there and up there. Do you still have holes in your gums, and is there any need to replace teeth? Answer is nope to both. The holes heal. I can't speak. The holes heal after a while once the tissue grows back in, and there is no need to replace teeth at all. Like, they're all the way back here. And yeah, there's no need for that. Were you able to shower and do stuff by yourself? Yes, I was capable of moving around and doing things as long as those things didn't require a lot of talking. I really just spent my days kind of relaxing, especially since it was winter break, so I didn't have much to do anyways. But yeah, I was able to shower by myself. Like I said, after the 6th day, I was able to start working out again. So I was pretty physical, just a little sore up here. My last question that I got is, what would happen if I didn't remove my wisdom teeth? The answer to that, it varies depending on the person. Some people never remove them and they're completely fine because they never grow in. Those people are lucky. But I'd err on the side of caution because if they do poke through your gum, like I mentioned earlier, they can cause an infection, which is the primary reason why I got mine out. It was more of a precautionary measure so that I wouldn't have troubles in the future. That's basically all I have for the questions. I can talk through a little bit about my day-to-days for the first 5, but if you want more in depth, I would really highly recommend watching that video because I go a little more in depth with portion sizes and stuff. Like you can physically see the portions and what I eat. But for day 1, the day of my surgery, I had half a cup of smoothie, half a bowl of cream of wheat, and a chocolate frosty. During this day, I changed my gauze multiple times. The numbness was completely gone about 6 hours after coming home. It hurt to swallow. I started icing my face 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, and this was something that happened in both days 1 and day 2. And like I said earlier, I constantly did mouth exercises the whole recovery so that my jaw doesn't get stuck. Day 2, I ate some yogurt, half a bowl of egg soup, mashed potatoes, half a protein shake, soup broth, and a sundae. What happened during this day is that I started rinsing with salt water after every meal, and I used a syringe to do so. I started applying socket to prevent the dry socket. I did the above 2 bullets that I just mentioned 3 times a day, so after each meal. And day 2, I had a lot better of an appetite than I did day 1. For day 3, I had 2 yogurts. Wow, look at me. I had clam chowder with potatoes but no clams, half a protein shake, mashed potatoes, and a chocolate shake. And this day I started doing heat compress instead of ice, still with the 20 minutes on and 20 minutes off, and the peak of swelling happened in that morning for me. For day 4, I had a smoothie, rice porridge, egg drop soup, blueberry muffin with extra protein, mac and cheese, and ice cream. And so this is the day that I felt really nauseous. I got chills and was sweating. I felt dizzy, which was due to the strong painkillers. This day I took 0 pain meds because of that pain, of that nausea. But I did take 1 Tylenol before bed, so I guess it's not technically 0 pain meds. But I did take a lot of naps throughout this day. This day was probably my worst day out of them all, but that was just a me thing, I think. I'm not sure. And lastly, for day 5, I ate scrambled eggs, spaghetti, pumpkin pie, and ice cream cake. A really healthy day. For what happened that day, I also took 0 pain meds besides the 1 Tylenol before bed. And this day I talked a lot because I had a Christmas party, so I was feeling a lot of pain around here just because I was exercising those muscles a lot, and I haven't really used them the previous days that much, so that was painful. But generally, I would say that I was 90 to 95% better by Christmas time. My sockets pretty much completely closed after a month when I went back in for my checkup. That's what they said. And I would say that probably the first week is the worst. Once you get through the first week, you are fine. You've literally gone through the bulk of it all, in my opinion. And so that basically concludes this video. I hope it was helpful. If you liked this follow-up, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And if you watched my wisdom teeth removal video, I want to thank you for watching that, because I honestly did not think it would get as much attention as it did, and it makes me happy to see such a supportive comment section going on where people are responding to other people and telling them about their own experiences. So if you want to read some other experiences that people have had, or just a generally really nice comment section, I would check out the comment section in that video. But with that being said, I hope to see you back again next week for another video. Bye.